By now, I'm sure many of you out there have noticed that my stroke, well, I think it's fair to say it's not that elegant. I tend to have a bit of a windmill-like arm action, and it's just very splashy. Whereas Heather's stroke, honestly, I've got to say, it's lovely. It's very elegant and it's very smooth.
Oh, I feel all flattered. Thank you. I mean, that's very nice of you. But and no offense, yours is a little bit messy.
No,
isn't it?
honestly, no offense taken. I'm very aware how bad it looks.
Well, I guess traditionally I still have a bit more of a pool stroke, where, as we say, yours is more of an open water stroke. Although, all of that said, yours is pretty effective.
Well, I think this is the topic in the area that I really want to delve into today, because if we were to compare an Olympic pool swimmer stroke versus a top-level open water swimmer stroke or a triathlete, you typically see some significant differences in their strokes, yet they're both very good swimmers. So why is this? Now, to do this, I think we need to start by doing a bit of a comparison of the two strokes. And I like to think if the two strokes were music, I picture the pool stroke as a beautiful orchestral piece, whilst the open water stroke is like a metal band.
So the pool stroke is traditionally just very clean and smooth. The hand enters fingers first into the water and extends underneath the water before the catch, and then there's that nice high elbow and a powerful pull phase through to the full extension behind at the hip, and then the elbow comes out of the water. It's a really nice high elbow, and the hand stays pretty close to the surface before re-entering and starting again.
Whereas the open water stroke tends to involve a lot more splash and a lot quicker arm rate. Tend to find that the hand slaps down on the water. It's a lot more splash involved, quickly getting perched to the water, pulling through the water, and then exiting at the back, and then that recovering arm quickly swinging back over the surface of the water.
Yeah, and that does make me think, Mark, when I first saw you swim, I was quite shocked at the style that you had. But I have to admit that I am now personally doing a lot more open water swimming. I hardly ever go in a pool, and I'm finding myself going a little that way.
Well, apologies if my bad habits are wearing off on you, Heather, but believe it or not, I once was the same. I actually used to have a lovely smooth pool stroke, but over time, having swum more in the open water, my stroke has slowly adapted, and despite what it looks like, it has actually been a positive change, at least for swimming in the open water. So let's take a look at what those differences are and why they're there in the first place. And one of the obvious and most significant differences and reasons is the fact that in the open water, the water is moving, it's constantly changing. So that means that the water could be moving around you and with you. So you may not always get a good catch or a good pull. So if you, for instance, were to have a lovely, smooth, long and powerful pool stroke, some of those strokes could be wasted. They may be dud. And that is why we have that quicker arm rate with the open water stroke. And then the straighter arm recovery is for a few reasons from my own personal experience. One, it allows you to get closer to the other swimmers, as I've just been talking about, without that collision and tangling of arms, and allows you to draft off them. Two, it means that you don't necessarily catch that chop on the water, so the arms are nice and clear of that. Small chance, but it is potential. And then three, with the use of wetsuits, you can sometimes feel a little bit of restriction in the arms and the elbows, so it's just easier not to bend them. And then finally, the splashy hand entry. It's kind of part and parcel of the other points I've just mentioned. It's really less important to have that nice glide and extension. You just need to get that hand in, get that catch, and get on with the stroke. The water is already disturbed, it's already moving, so scrap that clean entry, just get on with that stroke.
Well, yeah, I mean, that swim style is really noticeable whenever you watch triathletes, especially the top level swimmers and even some of the open water swimmers. Now, I'm intrigued to know if you've kind of just always swam like that, coming from a pool background.
No, I've not. And actually, that's a really important question because this, as I've mentioned already, is something that's kind of naturally happened for myself over time from swimming open water more. And I would never, ever recommend that someone suddenly just jumps in and starts windmilling their arms because they've seen myself or some other triathletes, open water swimmers doing it. I actually still spend, despite what it looks like above the water, a lot of time on my technique below the water, really perfecting the mechanics and the propulsion phase. So for anyone out there, I would still recommend that they really perfect their technique, go for that more pool stroke, and if they find their stroke kind of naturally adopting toward an open water stroke over time, well, so be it.
Yeah, well, with that in mind, I think it's time we have a little bit of fun. Now, we've done this before, but how about we try and sort of replicate, not take the mick, replicate each other's swim strokes and see how we get on. And I reckon I might be slightly better at it this time because, you know, I've watched enough videos with you and I'm starting to get influenced.
No, I think you will because you've been swimming a lot more in the open water. So I'm really intrigued to see how you get on. I've got to be honest, last time we did this, we saw very little difference despite my efforts. So I'm really interested to see what we can do this time.
Okay, find out.
All right, let's do it. All right then, we're in the pool. It's time to have some fun.
Yeah.
We are both going to do a pool stroke, which for you is not far off your normal stroke, I think. Well, it'll be interesting to find out. And then we're also going to do our open water strokes, which for me is probably going to feel quite natural. Now, we're only going to do 50 meters each, as I said, just a bit of fun. And we're just going to measure kind of our stroke count for the 50 and also just hopefully have something visually to look at.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys will notice the difference.
Yeah, so should we go
I think we should take a look at yours because that's the more dramatic one when it comes to pool swimming, isn't
Right,
it?
Okay, so we're going to go with the pool stroke first, right?
Yeah, you're swimming at race pace?
I don't know, yeah, should I give that a go?
70.3 race pace or not? Like, it's not
all
flat
right,
out, is it? It's just a good...
Okay, here we go, right.
I mean, he used to do this, so imagine... Doesn't look bad, does it? We'll see when he comes back. Although I can hear the slap of the arm still on the water. He's trying. It's quite funny seeing Mark swim with really bent elbows in his recovery. It kind of looks good, but the sound gives it away, I think.
How'd I do?
You could tell you were trying.
There's still a lot of splash.
It was kind of sweet because the elbows were like bent and I'm not used to seeing you with such bent elbows. And it all looked good, but it was the sound that gave you away because it had the slap sound.
It's working so hard. It was harder because they were going at pace.
Yeah.
I was like, I could do this better, I could do it better.
I could tell you were trying. It was kind of
I went 15 strokes per length.
Okay.
But yeah, that was all right. Okay, yeah, but obviously visually didn't look that good. Right, time for your turn. Yeah.
Okie doke. There he goes.
It's just a normal stroke. Yeah, nice high elbow, clean entry. I mean, I definitely think she's making a concerted effort to neaten it up a little bit. It's a nice long glide to it. Nice. I've got to say, I mean, it's kind of your stroke. But did you feel like you were working?
Yeah, it felt normal, but I was just trying to remember my stroke count and how many strokes I was doing. I think I've already forgotten.
Well,
no, I counted every one, so I was 16 that way. I forgot how many I was this way.
I thought it looked good, but I mean, I did actually quite like just that sort of nice long glide. I sort of missed that stroke.
Yeah.
It's quite a nice feeling, but
it does feel good, doesn't it?
Yeah. So right, onto open water.
Okay, everyone, stand back.
Woohoo! Let's go.
I'm gonna get splashed here. What a contrast! Yeah, that's the mark I know. That makes sense. And you can hear the different pattern. It's like dun 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 dun. Here he comes. Right arm comes higher. Okay, let's just let the pool calm down a moment.
Oh, that was fun.
Do you feel back in your kind of comfort zone there?
Far more comfortable. That was around 16, 17 strokes per length. So
okay, upping the cadence.
Yeah. Just I quite like that quick turnover.
Yeah. But you can tell, as I just said, it's like, that's the mark I know.
Yeah, all right, your
or the
turn.
stroke I know. Now this is where I have to concentrate. And I will, my kind of main difference is my stroke count, so I'm going to actually try and increase that. And hope that kind of has the open water effect.
Yeah, all right.
See. You can tell me.
Here we go then. Oh, nice. I'm proud of her. Look at that. Beautiful. Still a little bit too elegant for my liking, but it's definitely improvement. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm proud of you.
I'm sure it wasn't, but I feel like I was trying to remember what I swim like with a wetsuit.
Yeah.
It's kind of harder to do an open water swim in the pool because I think a wetsuit naturally changes your stroke.
Your stroke rate definitely looked higher.
4 more strokes each way.
Was it? Oh wow.
Yeah.
I've got to say, you still just naturally you have that nice high elbow, and
it doesn't feel it.
It probably doesn't, does it? But
Yeah.
which would you prefer and go for?
Well, it's kind of like I know, because we talk about it so much on the channel, the kind of benefits of increasing your stroke rate and getting your arms over quickly, especially when there's like waves and things. So I know, and I don't really do pool swimming anymore. Like I don't race in the pool. I do a few races open water. So I'm consciously actually trying to adapt to that slightly because I know the positives. But then I still feel like a part of me is dying, and my coach, my old coach, if he saw me, would just like go, "What have you done?" So it's like I'm conflicted.
And I got to agree. Like just doing that then, the pool stroke. It's such a nice feeling. Have that kind of that extension, that powerful pull, and kind of really like just calming it down a bit. And I do enjoy that, and you can kind of focus on the technique and kind of make it really slick again.
It's a weird one, and like when you watch, we've got the Olympics coming out this year, and you watch the Olympic swimmers, and you kind of go like, oh no, I need to go back to actually work on that. And I remember when I was still doing pool swimming, and I used to train with the future athletes, and I was like, in the pool actually as quick as one of them had a terrible stroke, and I was like, oh, I'll be able to keep up with him open water, and his open water time was like 5 minutes quicker than mine, so that is still sort of ingrained in there.
Was that Harry Wiltshire by any chance?
It might have been.
Wow, this has been really fun and really interesting, and hopefully you guys have found it interesting just hearing the differences between the two strokes, why there are some kind of differences and perhaps not so elegant looking strokes out there.
It's not all about how you look.
It's not at all. Well, if you've enjoyed today's video, please do give it a thumbs up, give it a like. Don't forget to give us a follow over on social media and subscribe just down below.